Good day, students. This video analyzes one of the most famous plays of Ole Soyinka, the KONGI'S Harvest. This is Dr.V. Parvathi Meena, Associate Professor of English, Sita Lakshmi Ramaswamy College, Tiruchirappalli. Let us now look in detail about Ole Soyinka, his contributions to Nigerian literature in English, and his play KONGI'S Harvest. The person whom you see on this picture is Ole Soyinka. He was born Akinwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on 13th of July 1934 in Abeokuta, Nigeria. His father was Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, who was an Anglican minister and head of the St. Peter's School, Abeokuta. His mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, a Nigerian shopkeeper, activist and member of the aristocratic Rasom Kuti family. Let us now look into Soyinka's life and career. Ole Soyinka studied at Government College, Ibadan, University College, Ibadan, and the University of Leeds, England. He also took active part in Nigerian political history and campaigned for independence from British rule. He constantly opposed the corrupt politicians and was always against dictators and the military coups. Condemning his activities, he was imprisoned in solitary confinement for 2 years and was banished by the government twice. His mother was an activist, and this attitude of hers has gone into his blood as well. He, being a living writer, at present lives between Nigeria and the United States of America. Ole Soyinka's works are considered for their greatness and value they impart. He has written a play for the Nigerian Independence Day celebration in the year 1960. He received the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1986, the first African writer to receive this award. In his literary career spanning 63 years, he has written 30 plays, 2 novels, a couple of poems, 2 memoirs, critical essays, and political reviews. Apart from these, he also has written some radio plays and short plays which are not in print. He is 89 years old and is still active. In 2021, he published a novel titled Chronicles from the Land of the Happiest People on Earth. His plays focus on 2 aspects, tradition and politics. His plays drastically express his traditional and political ideologies. This part of the video will focus on the acclamations received and achievements made by Soyinka. He was a dramatist at the Royal Court Theatre, London. He was awarded the Rockefeller Fellowship in 1960, and he founded 2 theatre groups, the 1960 Masks and the Horizon Theatre Company in 1964. He produced his own plays and also performed as an actor. He is also a visiting professor at the Cambridge, Sheffield, and the Yale universities. He is a well-known political activist. He appealed for ceasefire through an article during the Nigerian Civil War and was arrested for that. He is designated as the UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador for promotion of African culture, human rights protection, freedom of expression, media, and communication. Soyinka writes on myriad themes. Some of the most important themes are tradition versus modernity, colonization versus modernization versus tradition, judgment and damnation from foreign cultures, Nigerian politics, and this is one of the most recurring themes in his plays, corrupt leaders and abuse of power in Nigeria, and this has been Soyinka's concern, and he talks about that in all his plays. He also focuses on Nigerian life before, during, and after colonization. Femi Osifazon, a contemporary of Soyinka, says the following on Soyinka's themes. I quote, "Condemned, wanton and cynical abuse of political power in Africa, the malaise of widespread corruption, the curbing of individual freedom, the elusive meaning of history and exploration of Nigerian mythology." I unquote. These are his main concern, and this is mentioned in Maja Praise's book on page 53. Let me now introduce the play KONGI'S Harvest. The play was written by Ole Soyinka in the year 1965 and was published in 1967 in London and New York by the Oxford University Press. The play was premiered in Dakar, Senegal at the first Negro Arts Festival in April 1966. The play is divided into 4 parts named Hemlock, first part, second part and hangover. The play portrays traditional and modern rulers, and the play was later adopted into a movie with the same name. KONGI'S Harvest is a post-colonial play. It reflects and focuses on the contemporary Nigerian political scenario. It was written to satirize the Nigerian political situation. Ole Soyinka uses this play to attack the politicians directly who shape the current direction of Africa. The play juxtaposes traditional and modern rulers. The play is also a greatest political evidence which illustrates political hegemony practiced by modern rulers. The setting of the play is the Republic of Isma, an imaginary kingdom. The central action of the play is the traditional New Yam festival. This part of the video talks about the characters of the play. The play has two different sets of characters. Some characters represent the traditional rule. They are Obadanlola, Sarumi, Daudu, Segi and the Aweri. They are people who support the traditional rule. Characters like Kongi, the reformed Aweri fraternity, the secretary, the carpenter brigade and the superintendent are the people who support the modern rule. The play, as mentioned earlier, is a rift between the traditional and the modern rule. These are the two sets of characters representing either side of the character. The first part of the play that functions as a prologue to the play is named Hemlock. As we all know, hemlock is poison. This part of the play is named so as it sets the poisonous tone of the play. Hemlock gives an introduction to the actions of the play. It brings to the fore the intentions of the traditional ruler Oba Danlola. It brings about a warning about the future of the nation and the people. It tells the people and the audience how the people of Isma will suffer under the modern rule of Kongi. This part of the play ends with Sarumi, the younger Oba, emphasizing the importance of traditional kingship or leadership. It also informs the audience that a king is usually presented the first yam as he is responsible for the lives of the people. As the tubers generally contain poison, the king consumes the first yam and ensures safety to his people. The next part of the play is named First Part. It takes the audience into the crux of the play. It opens to the discussion of the reformed Aweri fraternity on an image for Kongi. At the end of the discussion, it is decided that Kongi can be projected with an idyllic image of an youthful leader. The harvest festival, which was once celebrated as an old superstitious festival, will be replaced by a state ceremony under Kongi's modern regime. Nightclub of Segi is brought to view and Dodo and Segi's association is revealed. The secretary of Kongi, who is corrupt, is introduced. He tries to warn Oba Danlola through Dodo to cooperate to Kongi for the smooth conduct of the harvest festival. Kongi and his reformed Aweri fraternity, the RAF, are fasting before the harvest festival. But the audience are made to understand that the RAF is compelled to fast as they are even ready to bribe the secretary for food. The RAF also asks the secretary to persuade Kongi to release the prisoners if Oba Danlola and his men surrender. Kongi accepts to the plan, but when he learns that one of the prisoners has hanged himself, another one, Segi's father, has successfully escaped, Kongi gets infuriated and calls back the order of release. The next part of the play is the second part, which starts with the day of harvest festival. Oba Danlola and his men are released and they, after reaching home, are excited to dress up for the festival. Dodo is to represent Oba Danlola and his Aweri to hand over the yam to Kongi in a peaceful transition from the traditional rule to the modern one. Dodo asks his uncle Oba Danlola not to appear at the festival, but the Oba insists on his presence. Dodo is told that the search is on for Segi's father to bring him back dead or alive. The much discussed and planned harvest festival begins and the secretary is shocked to see Segi, the former mistress of Kongi, to be part of the dance troupe. For the peaceful conduct of the festival, the secretary asks Segi to leave, but she refuses. Dente, Obadanlola's servant, has changed side and becomes part of the Carpenter Brigade. The Carpenter Brigade is the assisting group of Kongi with whose help Kongi is believed to build the nation. During the festival, gunfire is heard, and this was an attempt by Segi's father to assassinate Kongi. Kongi gets infuriated and sends the soldiers in search of Segi's father, who is later hunted and killed. Kongi asks his men to inform Segi of her father's death as he wants to see her break down. But Segi, who is a very strong woman, does not react and whispers to Dodu and walks away to bring her father's head to be offered to Kongi as new yam. New yam, which is a traditional symbol which symbolizes harmony, now becomes a cannibalistic symbol as her father's head is offered in a copper platter. The last part of the play, named Hangover, symbolizes the aftermath of the panic-stricken activities of the previous day. It opens at Kongi Square. The place is littered with debris from the previous day's festival and the panic that followed. The secretary and Dende are seen on the stage. They are both very weary and looking lost, and Obadanlola walks upon the debris with his possessions, waiting for a chance to leave the country. The events that happen create civil unrest and throws people in disarray, and the Republic of Isma loses its harmony. All the three sets of people, the traditional ruler and his people, Kongi and his staff, and the people of the country, suffer. All flee the country, hoping to find a peaceful place against Kongi. Shoinka offers no easy solution to the problems raised in the play. Kongi is seen ruling an empty country without people to rule. Let us quickly summarize Kongi's harvest. The myth that is talked about in the play is eating the first yam on the day of the harvest festival by the leader that brings prosperity. The ritual that is talked about is the New Yam festival, and the ritual performer is Obadanlola and Kongi, the past and the present rulers. The ritual arena is Isma, an imaginary African country. The promised ritual impact by the performer is that prosperity in the country will be brought in when the first yam is eaten by the ruler. The opposers to the modern rule are Dodu and Segi, and they are the citizens who try to bring back democracy into the country. And the impact of the ill-consumed ritual is that death and havoc in the community because of the egoistic, self-seeking kings. With this, we come to the end of this video. Meet you again with yet another interesting topic. Thank you. Have a great day.